You're listening to the Slurmcast, a podcast for no reason. Today we will be discussing Futurama Season 3, Episode 12, The Root of All Evil, with your host, Tommy Roulette.
How's it going?
Pete Woodward.
That's me.
And I'm Rick Horchie. Joining us today is our special guest, Devon Newsome. Thanks for being on the show.
Thanks for having me. I'm excited.
It's the second half of the Second Shot podcast. I think this
I'm
is the first.
I'm the first half.
I don't know the ordinal order with you two. I do know that you're the first total set of podcast hosts we've had between you and George. So it's a milestone for us.
Heck yeah. We got to reimburse you or reciprocate. That's the word I was looking for.
Oh, for sure.
Sorry, I like jacked on before I got here, so I'm like a little weird.
I like a lot of shit that people don't like. So I'm game.
Speaking of your podcast, and we'll do all the plugs and stuff at the end. I've been listening to it a lot. Like I listened to it to check it out.
Only your episode?
No, yeah, just over and over. I transcribed it and I just like read it to myself all day.
Gonna get it tattooed on your chest.
I worked out on a hand puppets. I made a YouTube video of.
Well, they actually they have those tattoos now where you like tattoo like sound waves.
Oh yeah,
and you can like play it back or something.
No,
I've looked into all of that. It's cool, but it has to do with uploading all the sounds to the app. So it's not actually playing it; it's kind of recognizing it and then playing
like a barcode.
Almost, yeah. I guess it is.
You don't put a needle on it and then like move like a turntable.
No, it is totally a cool concept, and
just
I would totally get
tattoo every time
waveforms.
Hell yeah,
on me. Like Eric was actually talking about, like you could have like a picture of Nelson from Simpsons, and then have the waveform, so it's like ha.
Oh man. This is
that
amazing.
Would be good.
No, but I listened to an episode before George.
Copyright Eric Kaplan.
and then when I was going to be on, I listened to a couple more, and it's really good.
Thank
and
you.
and now I'm just a fan. And I'm just like listening to it.
Thank you. I was like,
if you're out there, check it out.
I'm a big fan of this show. Actually, like I listened to. I think the first time I saw it was like. I think Bill wasn't Bill on your show? Bill Squire?
Yeah.
Bill's our first three-peat guest, as a matter of fact.
Oh, nice. Does he have like a jacket like SNL?
No, at 5 you get jacket.
At 5, yeah, that's right. It's the 5-timer.
He has underwear. Slurmcast underwear. 5's a jacket.
Oh my God!
They have our heads in jars. On
But
them.
he made it himself. And that's how you get to be a friend of the show.
But yeah, like,
Tom just gave him a pair of his underwear.
Didn't wash it. That makes it more valuable.
There's a stain in there that looks like Bender. There's like Jesus' face on a taco.
Oh God!
Oh man, that's amazing.
I don't want it because you could. I'm thinking about how that kind of stain would get there, and I've already thought it.
It's all the way that underwear stains get there. Like however you want to,
there's some extrapolation. It's just
you could make the stain artificially.
no fun, no fun. Because it's really like when you make a pancake or something, it's got Jesus in the dark part. Like it's got to be by chance, or else it's just goldenpalace.com.
Did you guys used to watch those? Remember when that was the big thing? The YouTube videos of people doing the designs and pancakes or whatever.
Oh yeah, and they like flip them over.
Yeah,
and
it would be like
amazing.
Timmy's face, and it was like. That was like early YouTube days of like, wow, this is great.
I'm sure there's still people doing it,
pancake.
and they're still monetizing it way more effectively than we are monetizing this podcast. I bet they're able to live off of it.
I'm sure somebody subscribes to the pancake design guy.
It could be like an ASMR thing, but for pancakes.
If you're still around, we'll advertise for you. We'll talk.
Yeah, for sure. We could advertise the pancake channel.
So we had a fan write in, was that an email or Facebook message?
It came in on Facebook.
An electronic message. It doesn't matter. It was an electronic message.
It was ones
That's
and
true.
zeros.
It was. Asking us to do a little synopsis just to let everybody know what the episode is that we're talking about instead of rambling for 30 minutes. And, so this one is The Root of All Evil, which I said.
The route.
No. Well, I guess.
You can pronounce it root.
Because you can't pronounce the root, like the origin of evil. It wouldn't have the double entendre then of it wouldn't be the.
You say, well, some people say root, some people say route.
But you can say that for the direction. Would you say the route of all evil? You would say the route or route for like directions
But it would
or
be
whatever.
I think of it
road.
as the route as like
It took me
tree
about
roots,
17
like
minutes
plant roots.
of asking.
No, I was thinking about it as the route.
I didn't even understand the double entendre.
Okay,
until
finish
you
it.
explained to me
Paper
yesterday.
what? Route? Paper route?
Oh, you can't. Yeah, you can't say paper route. Oh, fuck.
Yeah,
And that's what it's about. Shit. I was thinking.
That's why I
Damn,
said
you-
the route of all
But you
evil.
don't say.
but it's the saying is the root of all.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Like,
Yeah.
It very
like a
likely
tree
could be
root.
either or, but both work.
No, but you wouldn't say
The real
route
saying
of
is
all
root
evil.
like ROOT, like the
Yeah.
coffee shop. The
Do you
root.
think the
Yeah,
subtitle
for the evil one? That
will,
yeah, route.
will the
Okay.
subtitle of Guardians of the Galaxy 3 be the Groot of all evil?
It could be
The
He
grout-
told-
No one. No
the
one
grout
responded,
of all
just-
evil.
like
I
Adam
know, just
Warlock
crickets.
takes control of him or something and turns him evil.
It gets kind of weird. Maybe there'll be a Wonder Man cameo.
This episode aired on my 19th birthday.
Oh shit!
Really?
That's the
What day?
synopsis. If you want to know what episode it is, it was December 8th, 2002. Fuck,
Yes.
close.
Was that a moose shooting a machine gun in the Jumbotron?
Yeah,
song?
you know what the name of the... We never actually said what the name... What the...
Episode was
the
about.
episode was
I don't
about.
know the stupid
Because
kids.
fuck that, right?
Get yeah, you know what? Never mind. We appreciate
Kubert and
Dwight.
Dwight.
Not Russ. On the trivia,
Start-
well, let me just say that real quick. When we've mentioned the Futurama trivia we went to, Devin was on a team with George at the table
George
next
from
to us,
Second Shot.
and they did pretty much just about as well as we did. Missed a few, and didn't even get into all the one or two that people missed that all placed.
More
but
or
we-
less
we
than
still
a
came in
few.
we still came in like 7th place or something.
That was us, yeah, like 7th or 8th.
So
I mean, we
hard.
placed, but I mean that's not
It's so hard.
first, second, or third.
I think it had to be rigged. But
Yeah.
well, that's a discussion for another day.
Anyways, back to the cartoon
Yeah.
at the beginning. It's called...
I was on my way to work today.
It's called Heap Hep Engines.
What?
Yep. Heap
Spe-
Hep Engines.
HEEP?
HEP and then INJUNS.
Heap Hep Engines. Was this a Bosco
Engines.
cartoon?
No, I don't
So
know.
it was independently racist.
So does that mean it was a heap of like hip, like hep?
Hep, I don't know.
Indians, is that-
HEP.
HEEP is not a word.
Oh no, okay, yeah.
Heap Hep Engines.
Is that how you spell Uriah Heep?
No.
Okay.
You spell it like HEAP, like a heap of
Like
trash.
a heap of monkeys.
Or
Because you need science can't go on
I just,
without
like,
heaps of monkeys.
I gotta wonder at this point if there was a secret, like, white nationalist agenda in the choosing of these Jumbotron cartoons. Yes, I know they're public domain, but they seem to be so just thoroughly racist.
I mean, all of those old cartoons were.
Yeah, if you
like-
go back far
weren't they?
enough, if you go back before 1992, all cartoons are racist.
everything. Yeah,
I don't
I mean,
know.
you'd be surprised. Like, I feel like when you go back and watch like some of these like 80s cartoons, like there's
yeah,
a lot of
there's
just
a lot
like
of 80s
racist
racism.
stereotypes.
You know what else is in 80s cartoons?
What?
Slap bass. All over the fucking place.
Yes.
There was a very short period where my daughter was listening to Gem, not listening to, watching it. And aside from it being like 900% insulting, like it was just garbage.
I was.
And I know there's a this is great. I'm treading on all this sacred ground for like probably a whole generation of women that think it was like awesome. But in fact, I got into an argument with your ex-girlfriend Cassie
I
about
remember.
it because it's garbage. It's insulting to the watcher because it's just like I don't know, terrible. But the thing that annoys it more than anything is it's just like on every like scene in the background. It's just like slappity slap slap slap. Like
Like
outtakes.
Seinfeld slapping?
Yeah. Or even Night Court slapping. But those were kind of tasteful. Like this was obnoxiously present.
Oh yeah,
I-
while they're just like walking or something.
I don't do any
Yeah.
kind of like entertainment marketing, but I'd wager, I guess, that you weren't the target audience for Gem.
It doesn't matter. I'm not talking about
I
the
know,
target
I'm just-
because
yeah, you-
really
I'm just
my
kidding. You got an
daughter
opinion.
would be, and it's like the quality of cartoons that she has access to Oh dear.
That is I mean, it's a little blurry, but that is a
No,
screen
Tom,
It's super blurry for the
Tom,
people
that
listening.
is that is
awful.
as in
How dare you show
in
us
focus as it needs to be. Let's just say that the screenshots from Heap Hep Engines do not get any better than the name.
There is another one there.
Oh dear God.
So,
That's
From the same cartoon?
same cartoon.
Oh, they put on war paint.
Yeah. Oh yeah. There's
That's
that
bad.
at the
But-
bottom.
but they kind of look like Cheap Trick in that picture too. It's just bad.
It just makes me want to
And we are
watch
from
baseball.
We are from Cleveland.
Yeah.
That's terrible.
I
get it.
just to wrap up the whole gem thing. The
Oh, please. That's what everybody wants
the
to hear
cartoons the cartoons that are out there for kids now are like there's ones that are annoying and shit like fuck Caillou. I don't care
Yeah,
if
I
he's a
don't like
cancer kid
Caillou.
or what, but it is the most grating like electronic media I've ever seen. But aside from that, like a lot of it, it's really well produced, and even it's just a silly character based thing instead of story. Like it's enjoyable.
Adventure Time, regular show.
Yeah,
These are all amazing.
And what's the
even weird shit like Chowder or
There's some pretty.
what's the one
touchy
with the
jokes
two
in
kids
those.
that live in like the super spooky town with like their uncle or grandpa or whatever?
Like Gravity Falls?
Yes.
or
Yeah,
something?
that show's
awesome.
Yeah, that is a good show.
and so like when I put that up against the stuff that like we had, it's not like G.I. Joe was any better. Like that was just
Oh, no. It
garbage
was-
cartoon too.
When I try to watch cartoons I grew up on, not the 90s stuff, I can get through Tiny Toons Animaniacs. There's still some good stuff in there. But the 80s He-Man, G.I. Joe
Yeah.
stuff. Like when and I don't know how anybody does this, when you're like, I'm going to watch Thundercats. This will be great because it's so old. You can like laugh for the first like 30
Let's
minutes.
make
and
a
you're like,
new
this
live
sucks.
action
It just
movie
sucks.
out of it.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, it's
You can't get through it.
so anybody who's nostalgic for it is either probably feeble-minded or they have not revisited it to go, you know what? Like, this is actually garbage and it tricked me when I was young and we'll just leave it
I would
at
watch a
that.
Snarf spinoff though.
Perhaps.
Where
I
he's
mean-
a lawyer.
But a lot of that stuff, like if you watch the way that it I mean, even the quality, especially the Hanna-Barbera stuff, like it was one step above. Did you ever see
Hanna-Barbera
the-
stuff had some good comedy. I mean, Yogi and all those.
Oh man,
Gorilla.
Way,
Yeah.
way,
Gorilla.
Yeah.
Snagglepuss.
Snagglepuss.
You remember
There were some
Snagglepuss?
good jokes in there that when you were a
Heavens
kid,
to
I
Murgatroyd.
did not get. But like, if you some of it now, it's like pretty good.
Okay, if you
I'll go back
if
and
you
watch
take
those.
a step back with a critical eye and realize that they were all basically the same show with a different
Yeah, I know. What was the Wally Gator?
Yeah.
Remember?
Wally
Grape
Gator.
Ape, Jabberjaw,
Jabberjaw.
the show with the genie?
There was like 3 versions of Scooby Doo. There was the one where instead of Scooby Doo, it was a car.
Oh, yeah.
What
was-
Dune Buggy
Dune
guy?
Buggy?
Yeah, what was the evil guy with his dog? That was like
Smedley
Oh yeah,
or Snively Whiplash.
Dick Dastardly.
Dick
Dick
Dastardly. yeah.
Dastardly,
They're all
yes.
the same. I just like. Did you ever see the really old ones from the '60s? There used to like on. This may even predate you guys, but I remember it when I was a kid. It would be like reruns on Channel 43, and it would be like a still.
Snagglepuss is such a weird word. I keep thinking.
Heavens to Murgatroyd.
He was an anthropomorphic.
It sounds like something like if you had a bad date night, like, oh man, she gave me the Snagglepuss.
She gave me the Snagglepuss.
It was an anthropomorphized.
So I exit stage right.
It was an anthropomorphized vagina dentata. But there were these cartoons that were like stills from comic books.
Oh yeah.
But then they do like the Robert Smigel, Bill Clinton thing where there would just be like lips moving in the middle where they're like, I'm Captain America. I'm going to save the day. And you just see that move and then they like cut to a different thing. So like when you look at the Hanna-Barbera stuff now, it's like that's just one step up from that. Like it's just
Yeah.
and then when it got into the mid 80s Hasbro,
Spider-Man and
Stuff.
Friends.
that was very close.
When it was him and him and Iceman and
No, that was Spider-Man and his amazing friends. That one was pretty good. There was
Yeah,
there was no merchandising tie-ins with it, so it was done for the art. They were in it because of the game. I'm sorry. Just I'll go on record that Gem is complete garbage. Not by herself, but if you have pleasant nostalgic feelings for it, go
Well,
read
you've
it.
just listened
maybe
to.
we'll see how George feels about it.
I was
and-
just you've just listened to our impromptu crossover
crossover
second shot
episode,
pod
yeah.
where
Yeah,
you
that-
just
that-
talk about how you hate Gem
Come on, man, it's not that bad.
and well
Do you also hate the fact that Bender can brew beer in his
We'll get
cavity?
to
the whole
that.
episode.
Because I want to know.
I
was
also
like-
want to know if you also hate engines. Never mind. No. We don't want to know.
We'll talk about that
Don't
off
ask,
mic.
don't tell.
It's native engines.
Let's be sensitive around this table.
Oh my
please.
gosh, I have Native American ancestors. I don't know
Grandcestors?
I have Native American grandcestors, and I'm probably gonna get like, I don't know. I'm gonna be racist by the way I explain this, so I'm gonna stop. So let's never mind.
That's never stopped
Never
anyone
mind.
before on this show.
I have a black friend, so
So the 7th to the 11th convenience store. I was trying to remember the last time they went to a convenience store. I think it was the same thing, but did they change the name? When they went in, the one where
When they bought the gum.
when they bought the gum.
Yeah, it was the Starship Troopers episode, right?
Yeah.
It was something
Where's the
funny.
H
Yeah,
word?
where's
Was
the
it-
H
But
word?
was it
Was
because
it-
I know there was the sign that said free bag of Ice 9 or something.
Yeah. We commented on it, whatever it was. So what was this one I missed? It was 7.
7 to the 11th. And it was this is the thing I didn't understand or didn't. This is the thing I didn't take enough initiative to research and see if it meant something. It says open 28 hours. I didn't know if that's some math joke that related back to 7 to the 11th power or something.
Oh yeah.
But I'm yeah.
Maybe.
You didn't run it through the old
They had
calculon?
No, it would
part?
hurt my brain.
I was gonna the same scene. I was gonna look it up. They did another joke like that with the name of the beer.
Yeah. Oh, the beer names were
St.
awesome.
Pauli exclusion principal girl.
Yeah.
or whatever.
See, I didn't
Yeah.
get that.
The other sign on the outside was the cashier does not have keys to a successful marriage. Oh, really? I like that too. But
missed
the
that.
the beers were fantastic, and the thing that I thought was interesting is this is probably 15 years before the craft beer explosion.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You know, so they really kind of wrote it out, and then like,
Unless they were already doing it in Portland or something.
well, they might have been.
They've always been doing it. It's
I
like
think back
200
then,
years ago.
It would have been like
They
Sam
founded
Adams,
that town on craft beer and
strippers.
bicycles. Weird bicycles.
Great Lakes was
weird
around
bicycles.
then, but that wouldn't have been national or anything.
Back
at
then
that
they were
point.
like, oh, it's the 1800s. We already have the giant wheel and the small wheel bicycle. We need to do something weirder.
yeah.
And the handlebar mustache.
You had Old Fortran, just an old
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
computer language. I didn't know. So Klein's, it was in like an infinite loop thing.
Yeah, I forget. Is it like what is that jar called? There,
I mean,
that,
it's just like the kind of
container called
flask or something.
Yeah.
Like a chemistry set
something
thing.
in chemistry. Yeah, I don't know if it's like a Fibonacci thing or something weird.
The St. Pauli exclusion principle beer. And I think the exclusion principle is like if you looked at the label where it said beer and beer, it's like how much of the letters you could leave off before your brain would actually recognize it.
Okay.
Because it was like it was like a 3. You know, like they cut off important parts
Yeah.
of the thing where
It's
you
like
can kind
S and the T was, I don't know.
of
Which is what I call Twitter language
it was like
or
leet,
text language.
but you know, fancier. Sam Adams head, lowbrow,
great.
which has
Lowbrow.
dots on it.
And that's come up before. They've drank lowbrow.
They've drank lowbrow before, but Fry's reason for doing it is it's got dots on it.
Oh yeah, it has dots on.
Perfect.
I love the reoccurring like brands though in this
Oh,
show.
yeah.
Like you guys had originally. I got a choice between 2 episodes. The other one was like the Beck one or whatever.
Oh yeah.
And
When's that one come up?
The what? Which one?
With
think-
Beck?
I think it's the
Next
next,
one.
one. Yeah.
the next one, yeah, I think it was like concurrent weeks or whatever. But I noticed in that episode there was a bag of chips. That was the same one Scruffy was eating in this episode.
Oh, tricky.
Yeah, I think if they find a good, funny fake brand or whatever, they'll try to like.
Just keep going.
yeah.
Slurm.
Yeah,
obviously.
I mean,
Did they ever do a Pabst Blue Robot tie-in? Because that would have been awesome if they did.
I don't remember their. Oh no, I mean there wasn't a tie-in. I don't remember them using Pabst Blue Robot again, but that was my favorite one. I don't know
was
why
great.
it's so easy and it's not as clever as all the funny math ones. But I'm just like,
And then the metal shavings make Fry's throat all bloody.
Yeah. And then he's like, "Baby, need a Zima."
Yeah, the Zima was still a thing back then, and still just as reviled as it is. I mean, I bet there's people that treat Zima like they treat Gem. They just
Oh,
have the
that are
same
like-
fond feeling. It was awesome, and then you taste it, and you're like, you know? Like that whole, they did it just now with the Crystal Pepsi. They're like, yeah, we're going to bring it back. And it's like, oh, this is gross.
This tastes like potpourri.
Yeah, it's not
tasted
good.
exactly how I remembered. Not good.
Yeah, exactly.
Thanks for that memory, Pepsi.
Yeah.
Some jokers bought it, which is not, to be unexpected.
I felt like I was drinking something unnatural, like more so than
even
regular
pop?
soda.
Like flavored corn syrup and water, but because it didn't have the coloring in it, you thought it should be good, but it's not.
Yeah.
And still different than like Sprite or some other thing.
It was like a cola, a clear cola.
Where it tricks you with the it doesn't have a limon flavor.
Yeah.
Which is a combination of lemons and limes.
Limon.
The effect is just like burnt water.
Burnt water?
Like, because it has the cola taste, but like the water look, like you were saying.
Yeah,
so it's like
I just get
that's wrong. That shouldn't exist.
Yeah.
That's unnatural.
burnt water.
I just saw some article the other day about
Oxymoron.
they figured out a way to
just
deep
gas.
fry water. I don't know why you would want to do that, but apparently it's possible.
They're making
no
a
way
worldwide list of what is deep friable and not a deep friable.
Well, anything is if you dip it in batter.
Yeah, but can you consume it though?
There's like a deep
Well, if
fried
it-
Kool-Aid or
If
something
it's
at a fair.
edible
Yeah, I've heard of that.
to begin with, yes. If it's not edible to begin with, then no. There's no like magic or science involved
Really,
in that,
like,
Tom.
isn't a donut kind of deep fried water because there's a lot of water in the dough mixed up? I don't know,
No, it's deep fried batter.
but there's water in the batter,
But there's water in everything.
No, there's
so
yeah,
everything
I mean,
is deep fried. Air.
my guess,
And
'cause
water.
I didn't take the time to read the article, is like if you're making fried ice cream or fried macaroni and cheese or something like that, what you do is you freeze it to make it solid. Then you batter it, and when you deep fry it, the temperature of the oil while it's cooking the batter brings it all up to temperature.
Got it, man.
So if you had an ice cube inside batter and deep fried it, as long as the coating's sealed,
Yeah.
then you'd have hot, tasteless water inside a piece of fried dough, which seems useless to me.
Me too.
Yeah, there's no point.
Yeah, I don't.
I just want to see the
They're
guy that just got
slowly
done.
trying to deep fry all the elements.
I just want to see the guy that just finished a
Make sure
marathon and was like, "I'm so thirsty. Somebody give me some water." Here you go. No, give me some deep fried water.
Just
sure to
wait
eat
till they try to
16
deep fry
ounces
the
per-
fifth element.
I need the extra carbs in it just to get my sugars replenished.
Deep frying the sixth element is just Friday.
But when Fry and Bender are fighting about the beer, Leela just chimes in, "We can all fight when we're drunk," which is beautiful. Like she knows where it's all going to end.
Yeah.
And it even sounds like she's going to take part in it because she's never really been one to be like, let's go get some beers. And if that surprised me in this episode that she was taking such an active.
She's usually not.
participation.
She's usually so busy and efficient and type A personality that you don't see
To
her
be like,
Yeah.
let's brew
But
our
it's not
own
like
beer.
she doesn't
She's
drink
usually
like.
working out or something.
It's not like she doesn't drink with like Amy. Sometimes you'll see them having like girl drinks and like. So
Yeah.
it's not like but her being like chummy and broy with them as much. Yeah, like you said, she's
I
working
liked
out.
that
or,
plot. Like it was
Yeah.
totally a good little like side plot
Yeah,
for
it was
the
a
story
good.
to me.
I liked it because it's usually so much. Just Fry and Bender being like the dumb buddies or whatever, and it was like the three of them. It was
Yeah.
like, it was. They should have done more of that. I don't think they really did.
So
'Cause
do you-
usually it's her being like the mean boss or whatever.
Yeah,
and-
or love interest.
Do you
yeah.
remember the craft beer? Like, not even the craft beer, but like people all wanting to brew their own beer around
when
this
that
time.
started?
Like,
Yeah.
that was a big Christmas gift for a while. I was like, here's a brew your own beer kit to make your house smell like shit
Yeah.
and come up with a couple of bottles of marginally passable alcohol.
I brewed it in this old Perrier bottle.
Yeah.
I remember that became the like young professional like new hobby to do like oh okay, you've got a house in the suburbs and a kid or two and you're married and have a good job and it's like oh what am I going to try to do at home to keep myself from killing my family and jumping off a bridge or taking them off the bridge with me. I don't know. I've
I
overthought
prefer
it.
to just drink alcohol that I buy rather than making my own.
But you know what I mean for like those home hobbies like and there was sort of like that was a trend for a while where it used to be something that people did like I'm going to do this because it used to be a kind of hobby that like it's making moonshine it was more of a
Is there a
process.
market
Yeah.
for artisanal Pruno?
what's Pruno?
That's like prison wine that you make
That's what
out
it's
of
called,
like
Pruno?
tang. Oh, that's one variant. Yeah.
Turlet wine?
Yeah. Yeah. I wonder if that's like. Maybe we should look into that.
Yeah, what's
Just a thought, like,
I don't know all those
Hooch.
names.
There's a
Hooch.
lot of different names.
No, but like the difference between say moonshine is that it's a distilled spirit where you're getting like pure alcohol at the end of it. But stuff like Pruno or beer,
The names are
so
constantly
on.
changing because the guards know what they are, so they have to change the names up.
No, I think you just don't talk about it around
Now
the
it's flippity
guards,
floppity
Tom.
flu.
It's a supercalifragilisticexpialidocious drink. It's a. I'm gonna have to investigate that.
It's kind of like how Molly is just ecstasy.
Yeah.
Right?
I thought there was something different. I was
think it's
too
the
old
same
for all
thing.
of that.
I never did it, but I think it's.
I thought it was different. I can't remember. I've heard it explained enough times. You think I'd remember, but
One sounds like a nice girl next door, and the other one sounds like
no.
a stripper.
Do you
There's
remember?
pure
It's something-
MDMA.
Is that what it is?
That is like that's real. Like that's considered Molly, because the M.
Okay.
Ecstasy is some of that, but it's more like mixed with like Coke and
Oh, really? Okay.
like other things. So
Okay.
it's not pure.
Okay.
The amount of
I've-
stuff that
yeah.
people are learning on this episode of Slurmcast is gonna. I mean, like, I
We're
feel like
covering everything.
Yeah.
if we have to
All the
submit
bases.
one for like,
Someone who
science
isn't
podcast
me
awards,
told me about all of this.
General interest.
I read about it on Wikipedia. But I guess brewing beer is something that's never occurred to Bender, and his head literally explodes when Leela tells him that that's a possibility. I thought that was dumb.
Oh, I like that.
He's only programmed
I
to
like.
bend.
That's
I like.
true.
Yeah. See, well, you got that, and then also, I just enjoy when he gets excited about something, and like when he saw the diamond.
He
and-
also is supposed to cheese it too.
Yeah.
It's
Oh, yeah,
bend it
bend
and
it,
cheese
cheese
it.
Cheese it.
Well,
yeah.
but he also steals and cheats and robs and does crime. Like why hasn't
That
he?
falls somewhere in between bend it and
He's so-
cheese it for
Why
him.
hasn't he gotten into the bootlegging alcohol racket
He's-
previously?
He's so humanized that just like he has emotion, he cares about this baby he's growing inside
This
of
is
him.
true.
And like I don't know, he's a human. He's a robot, but he's a human.
It's pronounced robot.
He's a robot,
Thank
but
you.
he's a human. My bad. Sorry to Chapek 9.
Did you catch when she said you could brew your own beer, and she's like, the kids at the orphanarium did it all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were making Pruno. It's have any of you ever tried doing that?
Making home alcohol
Yeah.
stuff.
No.
Dude, I can barely like microwave chicken nuggets. Like, I definitely don't
One
need
time-
to be in charge of making something that could kill everyone. Like,
One time,
you know.
Horchie fell asleep while boiling eggs and almost burned the house
Oh
down.
yeah, that's true.
Were you home?
Yeah.
No, I came home and had heard about it.
Was that something like? It seems like something Stosh would have tried at some point. Did he ever like brew his own beer to sell at the Spitfire?
No, you can't do that. You have to have.
What permits,
Like-
Tom?
Yeah.
It's
No,
not-
I mean you have to have. That's like a
Oh, to like
big no to
to like make your own.
alcohol to
Yeah.
sell. Yeah, that's like it has to be regulated and all kinds of things.
You
like,
take the fun out of everything.
It's like the same
I
thing.
guess.
Like a restaurant has to
yeah.
get it for food, right?
No, my brother has brewed beer, but I've never really had any of it because I don't want to try somebody's homemade beer.
Dan
he-
Peterson did some kind of. He did it. He made a bunch of batches. Of
Did
stuff,
your
and he made this,
brother
like chocolate thing that was really
harvest the yeast for his beer from feet.
I don't know, probably.
Oh,
Yeah, that's
Tom's
gross.
brother is a foot doctor. Officially, as of a couple days ago, I think.
Nice.
Yeah,
So
he's a
congratulations,
doctor.
Ryan.
Congrats, Ryan.
Yeah.
You're
I
the
don't know.
official
I-
podiatrist of Slurmcast.
I don't think that business is going to last. I don't think
you
feet
look
are
at
going to be
this
around
thing?
forever. I think they're going to be obsolete soon.
We're all going to get wheels installed.
His arch nemesis is diabetes.
Oh no!
Mine too.
I have a rapper character from the podcast named Lil Schooner who has no feet.
From your podcast?
Yeah.
Does he have boats for feet?
He has boat. He wears boat shoes, but he has no feet. Just because I was freestyling and I randomly, for some reason, said I had no feet.
Would it be possible to get him over here real quick, or
Lil
is he
Schooner,
busy? Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I can text him and see what he's up to.
Okay.
He might be here in a little bit.
All right.
If you guys got like a hot Futurama beat or anything, he might show it.
Yeah. I don't think there's anything about this show that is qualified as hot or beats. I might be able to pass some gas later if you hang on.
Just put that in a loop.
If we loop that, it might work.
Just loop that.
I'll try and get some pitch so I can.
Lil Schooner is all about that bass, so that probably works.
Perfect.
It's
You would
more like a
think-
trumpet.
You would think with a episode with Qbert and Dwight,
Yeah.
it would not be as funny as this.
It
Episode
barely
was.
held
Oh my
on
God,
because I
that's-
hate them.
That was
Yeah.
like one of
Yes.
my main points. That's why I didn't pick this episode at first. Like I picked the Beck episode because I was like, I usually hate Qbert,
Yeah.
but this one was good.
I still hate him. I mean, he didn't redeem
But the episode
himself.
held together.
Yeah.
You know, even despite that.
Yeah.
He's
There was enough other characters in it.
Yeah.
Of what was going on for it to be. I mean, for it surrounding them, they weren't in it as much as.
well. You
you
had
would
that whole
think
B
they would
story
be.
of the beer,
Right.
and then kind of the C story. Would Hermes and the professor be part of the A story or the C story? Because they were kind of off on their own, commiserating.
They were a story, I think,
So sort of the antagonist
because
to that.
because you saw their reaction when they were doing so well with the business,
Yeah.
like
okay.
hanging out, getting dinner. I guess we're getting like jumping ahead here, but
Well, they just
And we can speak in generalities about,
Hubert and
episode.
Dwight got kicked out of school. I didn't realize that they went to the same school. Was this first introduced in this episode?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Because I think like when Hubert was introduced, then he showed up. I think once maybe in Anthology of Interest during the Leela episode with the murders.
Yeah.
And then we haven't seen him since.
I think this is only the third appearance.
Yes.
Yeah.
And this
It's
is
only
Dwight's first appearance. Dwight is Hermes' son.
maybe.
You know what's weird is I was wondering about that, and I'm like,
I thought he was also a clone.
oh no,
No.
he's
No?
Hermes' wife.
Well,
La Barbara.
La Barbara is
Yeah,
in this.
okay.
Yeah. And I don't know if you knew this, Devin, but La Barbara is played by the woman who played Jaleesa on A Different World.
Really?
Yeah. She was not Jamaican.
Did
on
you tell me
show.
that already?
I'm sure I said it
didn't
the
know
last
that.
time La Barbara was on, which would have been
That's a deep cut.
Titanic.
Okay, yeah, you did when she was on before.
That's very
right.
interesting.
That's a deep cut.
What is a different world?
Different World.
I know. I'm just kidding. I know
Well,
what it is.
I'll tell you, even deeper cut. This is
Not
is
to be
basically like a
confused
callback.
with Another Earth.
She helped Bill Cosby write the theme song to A Different World.
What?
Yeah,
That's crazy.
that is crazy.
There was a pretty big Cosby Show reference in this episode. if you
Was
caught
there?
it. Yeah, there was. So like when they're getting yelled at first, the
by
professor
at the school or by the professor and Hermes.
by the professor and Hermes.
Okay.
And the professor yells at them. He's like, or at Qbert, he's like, "I cloned you from one of my warts. I'll put you right back in
Oh
there."
yeah,
Oh,
that
yeah.
totally
Wow.
is a Cosby
I think that's a
joke.
Cosby Show reference.
Well, it is, but I think it's even like through. It's amazing how often prolific rapist Bill Cosby comes up on this podcast about a sci-fi
Well, it's
cartoon.
big news.
A touchstone of culture.
As was often the case, and I guess still
and most of the
is
time
when,
it's Dr. Huxtable who he happened to just play, but I mean, he didn't write the stuff.
No, but
that he
that's
said.
just it. This was almost the archetype for turning the comedian into sitcom star and repurposing material from the act into it. So like,
Yeah.
I bet if you go back and listen to Bill Cosby himself, I think that's a bit from that, at least that line, because he'd been peddling that since the 60s.
Oh yeah.
And I think that probably tapered off throughout the course of the show, but just that being the, probably, arguably the biggest and longest running comedian based sitcom. Like that kind of set the mold for a lot of those things, especially the successful ones.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I mean, even when it works, because I think with Mulaney's show, like they tried to do that and it just,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, a lot of them work, like Seinfeld. What else you got? You got Everybody Loves Raymond. Was
Tim
pretty
Allen's
successful.
entire career was based on that. I mean,
Ugh.
he did all of that
Ugh,
when he
Tim Allen.
wasn't being persecuted for being conservative.
More power. More power.
That's That actually could tie back to that whole Hanna-Barbera discussion earlier, because that's certainly a Fred Welker noise, which ties it back to Futurama. We come full circle.
I'm sorry. I'm going to interrupt here.
Yes.
During...
Nope.
Oh. No, I never thought of the joke until I just read it here. But Hubert and Dwight got in trouble for salting a bully, which is funny, like assaulting or just salting a bully.
Yeah.
For everybody listening, I'm just squinting my eyes and shaking my head at
And
Tom.
that bully was a real dick. Like, I mean, Hubert and Dwight are pretty insufferable. Hubert definitely.
Oh, yeah.
But, I mean, he just kind of got into it.
Brett Blob.
Brett Blob. Brett is... that Brett Blob is a really good bully name.
Oh, so good.
It's like straight out of a John Hughes movie or
And then
something.
you got a little Dwight Conrad, my manwich.
Yeah, that was great. Did you guys notice when the Blob threw their lunch boxes in? One of them was a Zap Brannigan.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't see
I
that.
didn't see what the other one was. Did anyone catch it?
I didn't
I
catch
didn't
it.
see it.
And the other was an inaccurate periodic table.
So do you think they were rightfully expelled, or was it a true case of self-defense? I think it actually was self-defense.
They used their brains.
Yes.
They didn't have their brawn.
I warned you not to use those.
Yeah, that was great. Yeah, I wrote that down. That was
Actually, one of my favorite lines in this show came right after that. Is this angry yelling or busted hearing aid yelling? Both! What? That was so well played.
This episode probably has more quotes, as many good quotes in it as any episode.
we get to a lot of episodes that, like this one, where I'm like, oh yeah, it's that one with the paper out or whatever, and I forget that like this one had, I don't know, how many did we just rattle off that are like 10 of my favorite lines?
Yeah,
you know,
within like 5 minutes of the episode,
Yeah.
basically.
And
and there's more to come. You know?
And there's
like,
more. Yeah, I heard alcohol makes you stupid. No, I don't.
No, I'm doesn't. I say that all the time. Like, just yeah.
One of Fry's, that's maybe top 5 fries
That's
for
one
me.
of my that's one of my top fry lines for sure.
So good.
You know what? Those kids need fidget spinners. That's where it went
Oh,
wrong.
God. Oh, they totally, I don't know if they ever did a fidget spinner joke, but that show needs to continue going just for
No,
jokes like
I mean that is like within like the last month, right? That's
You
what
know,
I've heard.
They've
of
had
them.
those things around for a while, but yeah, it wouldn't work
It's a
until like, the
gyroscope.
last month.
I heard
They've
that
had them around since like the beginning of like science.
I've heard that fidget spinner market is being assaulted by cheap Chinese knockoffs that are flooding the market.
I was picking up beer at a
That's
local store, and there were fidget spinners sitting on the counter. Like,
There-
for
Why
sale
not? Why
everywhere.
not? There's iPhone charger cables too at all of your finer liquor stores.
I'm waiting for Spirographs to make a
Because they know that
comeback.
I have one right up
Yeah.
there.
Or
Richie.
portable light brights.
portable light brights.
Yeah,
Like
so you
how
can take
big are
it
these?
anywhere.
How big are these portable? Would
mean,
would it be like
how many pixels?
Yeah, so would you be able to make like you'd have 10 pixels? Like it would come with 3
No.
colors and
Let's
Is-
say 50 pixels.
Is there a light bright
app. I was just wondering that. I was like waiting.
If there's not copyright-
There's got to be.
Yeah.
There's
Copyright
got to be.
Slurmcast.
Podcast is poor man's copyright. I think,
Right, yeah.
Pretty sure.
No, that's
It's the 21st century of mailing yourself the thing you did.
I'd like to turn it over to my lawyer, Snarf.
There-
Snarf.
We're. I hope it like
There
podcast
totally
copyright
is.
thing. There is. Hell yeah.
it's called bright lights.
Really?
Yeah.
Does it cost money?
Yes. Well, no, but it's got in-app purchases.
In-app purchases to buy more pixels.
Yeah,
please.
yeah, probably.
To buy
the
more
color
pegs. It's basically just Microsoft Paint.
No, it's just like when you're a kid and the light bulb goes out and you have to like bug your parents for like a week until they buy another one. Those little tiny light bulbs.
I didn't know that you had to get a tiny light bulb for that.
No,
I thought
it
was
was
like
a
a
regular
easy
light
bake
bulb.
and it would just
Big-
run off a regular one.
It was just one big.
Was it a regular light bulb?
Yeah.
I still love the original Light Bright because it taught kids about consequences.
Like touching
so?
a
Don't
hot
touch
bulb.
the side
Yeah.
of the Light Bright.
Or
You will
Did-
get
I forgot about
burned.
that. Yeah, the sides of it
It'll
too.
burn
Were
the
like,
shit out of you. I'm pretty sure I got a 2nd-degree burn from that.
did it include the black paper that you had to punch through, or am I imagining?
no,
that?
you got it. It came
Got
with it in a
some.
kit, and then
You could also use like black construction paper.
Yeah, and then you'd have to do your
thing.
own. Yeah.
But you could buy extra packs, I think.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, you could buy
Of
like
special black paper.
Yeah.
Oh no, and someone would have designs already
I
on
wanna
them,
do
so you
that.
could paint by numbers on
I
them.
want to come in second shot and do a light bright.
I would love that. And you could play with a light
It
bright.
turned out to be your longest, best episode ever. It's 3 hours about.
Wait. I mean, do
brights?
people
So into
not
that.
like light brights?
Like
No,
it
that
would
was the
just be
joke. That's one of those jokes we've been telling you about.
It does kind of get. It does kind of. I mean,
I'm
I
just
feel
saying,
all
like
kids
if you
like them,
if you
but it
can
gets
be
dragged
just
under
as
the mud.
have just
What?
as much fun now as when you did when
Right.
you were younger.
We were all looking for the app that we're not going to pay for. But is that really the crux of it? Just finding someone to be like,
And-
this is bullshit, or vice versa?
I don't. I mean, like it's basically people come out and talk about shit they like
Okay.
Or don't like.
or don't like.
Inverse.
Most of the time, we try to get our guests something they like that George and I will disagree on. So like one of us is on their side. That's like our preferred setup.
Yeah.
but,
So you have a devil's advocate built into the
yeah. There always has to be a difference of opinion
somewhere in the triad.
in the triad. Yeah.
Gotcha.
I'm sure someone would be like, I don't want to play with this.
The only ones that I know that you guys have done where George liked something that the guest didn't like was Avatar. Have you done anything where you liked something and they hated it, or?
What have I done so far? I don't think I have actually. I'm gonna look that up. Actually, I can't remember if I've done one. I have a terrible. That's the thing about me. I have a terrible memory because of jacking on and because of I've had like a buttload of head injuries in my life.
Ooh.
So
Yeah, those will factor into that.
Yeah.
did we establish that Kubert called the professor dad before? I think I took exception to it previously, and I don't like it.
Yeah, you did mention that before that you didn't like that. I don't know. I think it's.
What would you want him to call?
I don't know. I mean, he's a clone. He's not a child.
originator?
Yes, that would be good. That's
Master?
perfect. That could work, but Kubert's too incorrigible to do that. Let me ask you this: throughout the course of the series, does
Father Professor?
Kubert get older and more mature, or is he basically like a Bart Simpson stunted growth
No,
character?
Yes
they all
and no.
just-
Yes and no.
Okay.
You're talking about with the.
There's other things
They're
that
making
happen.
hand gestures, Horchie and Tom. I don't
You'll
know.
see as there's an episode where they time travel. and you
Okay.
see-
Yeah,
All
that's what I
right.
was gonna-
That's fine. That's fine. I don't need any spoilers.
It turns out Kubert was Kaiser Sose. That's
But-
sorry.
Oh shit. No. Okay.
The thing the professor invented
Is awesome.
is
Oh
really
yeah, the
awesome.
voice one, and then hearing him through himself, and just imagining Billy West doing like the louder, crazier Professor Farnsworth.
Crazy professor laugh is the best.
Did you find one that you?
There's one that I kind of liked and I a little bit took the reins on, but it was the guest's choice on my side, but Nintendo GameCube.
Oh,
But I haven't actually had one where it was like George has had a couple where it's like it's only him by himself defending
Yeah.
against two people that hate it. That one was like me and the guest liked it. George hated it.
I never had a GameCube, but at one point, one of Tom and mine's roommates had one, and I ended up buying a couple games for it. And like way after it had been out, like years,
Pretty
later,
fun.
like
pretty
3
fun.
systems later, wasn't bad. But
Yeah, we would have the Mario Kart nights.
oh yeah,
with
that was, on the GameCube.
And then
yeah.
we would have the Mario Party after party.
yeah.
Yes.
Where a bunch of us would play Mario Party after everyone left.
We used to do a Mario Kart Grand Prix every year.
Is there such a thing as a power stamper? Because oh my god, I would love to have a power stamper.
I feel like
Do you have to
I
stamp
feel like
that
there
many
is.
things?
huh?
Do you have to stamp that many things?
I'd find things to stamp if I had a power stamper.
I feel like there is like
Sounds like something Tim Allen would invent.
you slide it under.
Or Tim Taylor, rather. But
Sounds like you were the lost character on Wizard of Oz. If I had something to stamp, power stamper.
If I only had a power stamper. Whoops. Sorry.
I just
Quit trying to tell people about your podcast. Now you're playing the theme song.
like I'm not really good with I'm okay with tools and power tools especially, but I wasn't raised in a particularly DIY household, so I basically know how to use a lot of things the wrong way. And
Me too.
a power stamper seems like something
was raised
I
by
could,
somebody that knew how to use them, but I didn't pay attention.
Yeah, and now where did that get you?
You were never taught how to use a
Duct tape.
stamp? A regular stamp?
You lick it, and you stick it on the paper.
Oh. I still have a stamp that
or you dip it in the ink. Stamp it.
Dad had like when I was like probably like in grade school, and it still has good ink in it.
So what does it say?
Paid, and then it has the check number and date on it. So like you can stamp your bills when you paid it.
What? Okay. That sounds like a Father's Day gift that resulted in your parents getting divorced.
No, this was well before that he had this. But it just keeps regenerating ink. I don't know how it still has ink in it.
Because it's made out of oil.
That was
and
back
dinosaurs.
when American ingenuity, you'd had.
Wait, I thought we were going to stop saying engine.
I was thinking the same thing.
Sorry, Native American ingenuity.
And by
Native
that, he means that the
Americanity.
oil is made out of Native American.
It's a bunch of
cemeteries.
whale blubber and red dye, and that is why it keeps going. It's the tears of a baby goat.
It's made out of the blood of the mine checkers in Vietnam. All right, you can.
It is red.
I'm actually writing a comic book I need to plug too that has to do with Native American shit. So like,
I'm
getting all the plugs in.
We'll give you time to
Shameless.
plug. Tom's going to have to
Can
edit
you
all
give
this
us
stuff to the end.
So wait, you said it has to do with Native Americans.
Yeah.
Can you give us anything on
The
that? Or,
Amazing Chief
like,
Wahoo.
little
and his
something. Just give
adventures
us
in
like
Cleveland.
a little,
There's going to be. I'll give you a little like
just
themed.
yeah.
Themed
Okay,
hint.
yeah, theme. Anything.
It has to do with the mythology that was used in the Futurama episode on Mars.
Really?
little
Okay,
bit.
awesome.
A little bit.
Okay.
A tiny bit.
It's
of it.
somewhat related to that in a way. Like
the tribe that mythology is
Yeah.
related to relates to my. Sorry.
Sweet.
As we discussed on that episode, they were apparently related to the 12 tribes of Israel, which might throw a wrench into that.
they said that on the episode.
We talked about it extensively with Brittany when she was on.
They
I
said
thought
that
it had to do with Hopi mythology.
that episode. The characters in that episode.
No,
the Martians.
The Futurama Martians said "feh," and Tom,
Oh, you're talking about
yeah.
the what do you call it when you not when you what's the word I'm thinking of begins with an I when you infer something? Is that the word I'm thinking of?
Infer.
Yeah.
Imply.
What's that word that means like
Insinuate
inferring?
and
Insinuate.
One of those.
Incinerate.
Okay, one of those three. When you guys decided,
incubate,
when you guys
Incubus?
when you guys extrapolated from
succubus,
Engine.
Sugar Ray.
I also have a comic book coming out, and it's about the people from Dogdo 8.
The planet at the end of the universe.
Are you any of you surprised? Because I certainly am. That it took them this many episodes, 44, to do a Victoria's Circuit gag.
Oh, that was the magazine he had, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And weirdly, it wasn't the normal robot porn where like it was schematics and stuff. It was like
her parts, right?
Yeah.
Wasn't it? Yeah.
yeah, not. I mean, it seemed like they were stretching for it, but I'm surprised that like it's such a silly, obvious pun. I feel like that would have been.
Did you think of it before you saw it?
I did
Granted,
not.
you're
but
not a writer on a
I
show.
I wasn't
so,
a writer
you know,
on
yeah,
that show.
no, you're not trying to think of it. Did you like that gag, or are you saying like it?
I like I said, I'm surprised it took this long. I think it's kind of lazy.
All right, you heard that, Futurama writers. Pick it up if you ever get back into it.
Pete, I kind of want to paraphrase LeBron James right now and just be like, every time they just have a bad joke here, you just bring something up.
Yeah.
And, you know,
By
just,
the way,
Who? I don't get the reference.
never mind.
by the way, when you taped my episode, I was wearing a Cavs jersey. And now you're
Oh
wearing a
yeah,
Cavs
yeah.
jersey.
That was.
Oh wait, is that the guy
last
with the
series.
shitty hairline?
Well, we got hair plugs.
That's him.
Okay.
Yeah, I actually got excited when
Tumescent. He got tumescent.
When I've been taking turmeric. When we lost one, I'm like, oh, good, I won't miss game 4 because there will be a game 5. And then I was like,
come out after all of this.
Yeah, I'm just saying. But then we'll be at that concert for game 5, which is fine too. That's it,
Rafi,
yeah.
you're going to see Rafi sing Big Baby Beluga.
Banana phone.
Is that one of his songs?
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Is it about a phone that's a banana?
Ring, 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 ring. Banana phone. You never heard that one?
No.
It's a good one. There's a good.
Oh yeah, I've been checking it.
It's a good E-Bombs World cartoon based off that song.
I could I might have to do a deep dive.
Um,
That might
you know that, Tom, in your comic, is there something about how the universe ends after Dogdo 7 and then
People think it ends after.
That's what I was going to say.
7.
Is it going to be kind of like a Whovian sort of storyline where like this planet is found that exists out of time and space, and I you know what? I'm doing your job for you. You finish writing it.
When the professor shows off his invention that makes everyone sound like him, I mean, it was no pun intended, like telephoning way ahead what was going to happen. Like you knew someone was going to get up to some hijinks, probably
sure.
Dwight and Kubert. But has Leela's I forget what her wrist thing is called. Has that ever acted as a communicator before?
No.
Wrist-o-matic.
Isn't it something with the word jack in it?
I don't know. It was like a low jack or something, or it has low jack in it.
We had a conversation, and I was like, "What's low jack?" And then
I don't know. I like
it's wrist-a-jack. Is that it or something?
that might be it. It's just
Thingamajack?
it's a. I felt like that was a lazy plot device. Maybe she just upgraded in the new model. I don't know. It was a functionality that never got displayed before. It took me out of the episode a little bit. But the was it the professor right after that is accusing Gentle Bender of a misdeed?
Yeah,
that's the last straw.
Like, just is that the professor just being a contrarian, or is he really not aware?
I think he's completely unaware.
Oh,
but is he completely unaware all the time, or is it just a thing where he slips in and out of just, like he'll forget that, and then 5 minutes later he'll forget that Zoidberg's pour or something like that. You know what I mean? Just he's just slipping in and out of yeah.
I don't know. That whole scene when they're yelling at him though is like incredible. Like Hermes, like after like the professor yells, "That's the last straw." Hermes like does the thing where he like clears his throat and he's like, "Get a job, you lazy kids."
I think he dropped Sweet Bacteria of Liberia in that one too, right? Was that in that same like anger patch?
I think so.
And I think it was that scene where Leela's like, "If you were my kids, I'd punish you, blah blah blah," or no, I would have your father punish you as soon as he got home from the Senate.
Yeah. If you were my kids, you get a good talking to from your father.
Well, when
he gets home from the set,
when they start up with Awesome Express and they unveil it, and then Hermes the professor just roll it. You go, "Welcome to the world of business," and just start kicking the shit out of their stand and their banner and all of that. I loved it. Like they're so cutthroat.
Oh yeah.
And no one else seems to care but those two. Like, is it just because they're trying to eclipse their sons, or where was that anger stemming from?
I think so.
Yeah, I think that's what it was. I think they, because they announced it first as a competing business, so they were just
like, "Oh wait."
And then when
what?
they found out it was, paper delivery,
yeah.
And then Sal shows up, and he's like, "These papers won't deliver themselves. Only the Sunday edition does that."
Yeah. Did you see what the headline was?
No.
Space Monster to City. Girl.
There's a reporter down there actually saying,
like holding up the microphone.
"Do you have any comments?"
I think it's interesting. We haven't talked about this stuff in a while, but this seems like one of those things where, like cell phones back in 2002, they couldn't even foresee where it was going to go. Like, and that print journalism is just, it's so so much
I didn't even
shadow
think
of what
about
it
that
used
this
to
whole
be.
time. I was just like, yeah, newspapers. I wasn't even like,
Well,
oh,
I
yeah,
just thought about it now because like I still get the paper delivered only on Sundays and only because of the coupons in it. And it's like if I make at least
I thought you were gonna say for nostalgia.
No,
I was
no,
like,
no,
that's
no.
probably most of their business.
no, and like we have two
There's like
good
hipsters
friends
that are like, yeah, I'm holding the news in my hands. This is
we
great.
have two good friends who actually write for the Plain Dealer, and it's great. I mean, most of their content is online, but it still
Is
gets
it Michael
into,
Heaton?
No, it still gets into the printed version. But like, as long as I can save $1.50 per week from something I clip out of there, it pays for itself. So that's
fair enough.
only reason I still get it. And they try and upsell
Let me ask you real
and,
quick. I'm
like,
asking a real question. This
Yeah.
isn't a bit. Are they all grocery store stuff?
Sometimes they're liquor rebates. Like if you buy a bottle of Captain Morgan and a bottle of Smirnoff, you can get $8 back.
Ooh, I gotta get on this coupon game.
And then I have.
Can't you get all these coupons online though? Isn't that
No,
the
not
thing now?
not all of them. Not all of them. And the paper coupons, if you take them to the grocery store, they'll double.
Coupons.
Yeah, like Cubert.
Now we're getting into the route thing.
Well,
Yeah.
but here's the thing.
I don't know. What did
that's,
I say? I don't know which one I say next.
there's-
But now I'm thinking about it.
There's a thing that intrigues me about those. 'cause
Futurama.
Sometimes you'll get them in
Couponorama.
in the ones that you get in the mail. And the whole point was just like, it's something that's pretty much obsolete now.
Yeah.
They wouldn't have known that back then or whatever.
Right.
But in those coupons in the back, there's invariably like
Secret
shoes.
codes from the ancient
No.
Egyptian
There's
culture
like,
that tell you when the
you
aliens
can
are coming.
order
I know.
shoes, or you can order stretch pants, or you can order flannel shirts. And
Smoke
like,
weed for money, like on the back of the scene.
no. But it's like I almost want to start some kind of an art project where I clothe myself completely in articles that I've bought from the back of those ads for a period of time. Like I spent 3 months dressing as the guy in the back of the Red Plum circular.
In the year 3000, they can apparently order a pedal
hover
powered spaceship.
Well, that's what was awesome. That goes back to those same things we've talked about with the X-ray specs and the Charles Atlas like workout guides. Like it's a total. Do they even still do that in comic books? Do they have ads in comic books?
Yeah, they're still same. You know, there's still
Sea monkeys?
movie
now
movie
they're-
posters and
Night
video
vision
games.
goggles and 3D printers and
Really?
Energy drink.
I'm sure. I haven't picked up a comic book in a while, but
Neither have I.
I mean,
Devin,
They still have ads. They
like
don't
for
have,
what?
It's not so much.
hookers.
It's usually like
Escorts.
It's usually like ads for like the movies coming out. Or
Yeah.
Like,
What was the thing in this episode where someone took a piece of paper? I have this very vague memory of this quick little thing, and you think like it's a piece of paper, and they're like, "Oh, let me," and then they put it into a thing, and it was a.
That was the video at the beginning. Like the principal took this video,
And-
or the principal sent this letter.
Sent this letter,
And-
and then it
yeah.
was
They
a video,
feed it
right?
into the VCR.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, somebody just said something about that made me think of that, and I can't.
Well, that's like when they have a crack in the fuselage of the hover car, and they're just like, put this sticker
Yeah.
over it. That'll fix it.
Yeah.
I mean, that part I enjoyed. It was sort of like a let's put on a show kind of thing.
They
And,
did a little paperboy montage of like them getting ready, going out there, and then it was them delivering papers
just
and
the
you know.
dog chasing them.
Oh, and then the sticker they put on.
And
Did he have a
the
helmet on?
little prince.
Yeah. The sticker they put on is for Mom's Moron Oil for dumb robots. And is that a real thing on the show? Or
I haven't seen it before.
That was the first time I've ever seen that.
Do you
yeah.
remember,
I don't remember
like-
it bringing it up, but
There used to be
One of my notes says hello. Oh my god!
Your notes have become
hello.
sentient.
there used to be a whole thing of like T-shirts and stickers of like parody food labels and stuff.
Yes,
You know,
I'm
like
familiar with
is that
you're
what they were
talking about.
kind of getting at with that? Where it'd be like Campbell's condensed soup, but it would be like Cornbowl's condensed poop, or so. I mean, like a lot of it was really obvious stuff like that. The Mom's Moron Oil kind of reminded me of that, and I wasn't sure if that's
yeah.
what they were getting at, like a Garbage Pail Kids thing or not.
It could also be low grade oil for stupid robots.
Like Roberto,
Yeah,
He's not
or is
stupid,
Roberto
he's crazy.
stupid or he's crazy?
He's crazy.
yeah, it's crazy.
Okay.
Who's stupid? Who's a stupid robot?
The one where
Poor Frankie.
no, he's crazy too. The one where Fry dresses up as a robot, and he's like, and Leela's like, "Oh, no one will notice how crummy you look," and he's like, "Oh, I feel like he might be a stupid robot."
Is the Little Prince living in Maple Crater's gated community?
Just on a small little meteor.
Well, that's what the Little Prince lived on, though. Like, that was the whole thing. He lived on this little thing that he would just walk around all day long.
All right, I'll ask, and then maybe it'll help somebody out there that doesn't know. I recognize that image. What is that from? Is that a book?
The Little Prince?
It's a French book.
And it was made
into a
into
Netflix show.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
And that's like
an
the
animated
17th
series? Oh.
Except it's very adult, and there's a lot of violence and sex in it.
It's just like a French film. It's just like a guy and a girl in an empty apartment.
It's black and white. There's a lot of
yelling at each other.
smoking.
They all smoke.
There's just bass
And they go,
playing.
"Oh,
It's just a guy in a tank top and a girl with armpit hair, just like
He walks-
looking at each other dramatically.
He walks in and he's like, "I'm gonna show you my little prince."
And then he unzips his pants, and
It turns out
Prince
it's a dog.
comes out.
The little prince is a dog.
Little paw prince.
It's had like 17 iterations of films and TV movies and whatever. I mean, I know I've read it and seen those ad nauseum, and for the life of me, I can't remember what the whole real
I don't. It was one of those things. Like I said,
moral
it
of
looked
that
familiar,
story
but I
is-
never.
It was interesting that they drew it like the animation style and the art direction on that character is pretty much straight out of the book, and like when they do that sort of universe bending with their models, that's always kind of interesting.
Yeah.
And then there was the thing with the Star Wars reference where they're flying through something and the big worm comes out and grabs the
It's the dog.
yeah.
That was not as sad as the other time a dog died on this show.
We'll get there.
We're not there.
Oh no!
I just know it's out there looming somewhere in the future.
Oh, I don't want to spoil anything.
I mean
You-
I know what it's about,
Okay.
but my memory won't last more than the end of this
Sorry for
conversation.
bringing it up. It's really sad.
No, I think it comes up all the time. That's like I feel like that's Futurama's swan song. You know, like they're so recognized for that episode.
Yeah,
you know?
definitely.
I know like a ton of people that's the only Futurama
You mean
episode
Jane's
that they've
song,
ever seen.
right?
Oh, really?
You mean it's Futurama's Jane's song?
Jane's song.
Firefly.
Oh shit! All right, sorry. I don't know.
Our,
No, I'm disappointed in myself.
this is kind of the point where Bender starts swelling as if he's pregnant. So the beer that they're brewing inside him is akin to Bender having
he
life
gets
inside him from the
yeast,
yeast.
yeah.
And
I just felt it ferment.
they do the real world, the sun.
Yeah. Oh, that was
Like, do you know how much that apartment would cost?
cost on the sun.
Like, is
Did you guys watch The Real World when it was?
It's not on it. It's not. I don't.
Is it finally ended?
I think
did
they
watch
stopped it. Yeah.
I remember the first season.
Me too.
And I also remember that the one guy who was like the rock and roller with the long hair tried to parlay that into his band getting famous afterwards. They were called Rain Dance, not RAIN, but REIGN Dance.
Oh.
And they played at the old Peabody's in the flats.
Yeah.
And like, in true rock club fashion, the backstage area was just a parade of like drawings of dicks and stuff. But they had drawn like a complete caricature of their whole band on the wall.
dicks?
Like a big, no, it was just like, they did like a nice kind of Funky
Yeah,
Winker
that's what I
Bean
was
looking
thinking as
cartoon to
did.
their
Yeah,
thing.
I was like, that's great. Like,
And then-
the end of
Then it got assaulted with hundreds of dicks,
Okay,
like
good.
written
Okay.
over it, and pointing at it, and
That's-
everything else.
where is that? Those guys' first show? They thought they could get away with that, especially in Cleveland.
I don't know. Do you remember when they did the Making the Band series and sent out like Cleveland was one of the shows they did on that. So they basically took 5 bands. There's like a goth chick band and like a jam band and a soul band.
On
and,
MTV,
like,
are you
alt
talking
rock.
about?
I think it was actually on VH1.
Oh, okay.
And Cleveland was one of the cities they came to.
Yes, I remember.
And they had
that.
like they set this thing up where like somebody played at the Foundry or back then the Blind Lemon, someone played at the Symposium, someone played at the Grog Shop, like, and they all had to like come into town with no pre-promotion and then like draw the biggest crowd or so. Like that was the whole
Really?
thing to get over. And then those bands
I remember
ended up
that
coming
show
through a
existing. I
couple
never
times
watched
after.
it.
I was there, man. I lived it.
Oh, yeah.
It was ridiculous.
It was Billy from Warren. in different disguises all at the same time.
He was in every band.
But back to Real World. Bill Squire, his co-host on it.
Oh, yeah, was in
WMMS was on one of the
Oh,
episodes.
no shit.
Erica was on one of the episodes of
the Chicago one.
no
or?
DC.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
With the second season of Real World, like I watched that with like my mom. Everybody watched that. That was the one with Pedro and Puck. You remember that?
Oh,
Puck,
yeah.
He died,
was like
I think.
Puck.
No, Pedro died.
Pedro died.
He had AIDS.
I know
That was his whole thing. And then
I
Puck
think
died
Puck
too?
died,
Puck died,
like a
drugs
few
and
years
stuff or
ago.
something?
It's
Yeah.
about time.
I don't know.
Already.
He seems like the sort of guy that would still be alive.
He's
Just-
the,
just
he's the
because
guy
you-
that
'cause you
Matthew
wouldn't-
Lillard became after in
He
SLC
was like,
Punk.
He's like, I'm gonna be this guy. Like I'm gonna base my character.
Did you
around.
see Matthew Lillard in the new Twin Peaks, by the way?
No, but I heard.
No, we're not talking about the new
Sorry,
Twin Peaks
yeah.
at all.
Yeah,
I've
I
never
haven't
seen the
started
original
yet.
Twin Peaks.
Oh, I thought you
so-
didn't want any
Never mind.
spoilers.
Never mind.
I don't want any.
I
Spoilers.
don't want
I'll-
any spoilers,
Yeah, I
but
want-
I don't.
Matthew Lillard is in it. That's all I'll say.
Yeah, like there was something real quickly that I read that was like oh, because he hasn't really done anything in a while, and it was like, oh, he's like pretty good. Like, would you agree? Was he?
I agreed. I've enjoyed it all so far.
Okay.
I've watched the first two, but
All right.
If you ever question if Matthew Lillard is a good actor, watch the movie Scream. Seriously,
What was the
He's
space one
amazing.
he was in?
I've always liked him.
Scooby Doo.
No, the space one. Remember he
Oh.
was he in Super Troopers or
Starship Troopers?
No, he was in Wing.
Not Super Troopers.
He was
Wing,
in
Wing Commander?
Wing Commander
Yeah,
with
that's right.
Freddie Prinze Jr. Also.
As of 2013, David Puck Rainey was on felony probation and forbidden from leaving Los Angeles County, California. By 2013, Rainey and his wife had a third child and lived off the grid in Nenot, California. So he's not dead.
He's not dead?
But he's off the grid. Good
Yeah,
for him.
okay.
Basically dead in today's world.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he might as well be. We all thought he was because he hasn't been on a show, since. I love this. We're going into so many weird places on this. The line about letting Fry blurt it out thoughtlessly.
Let him
was
what
good.
thoughtlessly?
Let Fry blurt it out thoughtlessly.
I don't remember that.
I don't know. They were saying something, and it was just like, why do you have to say that? Why not let Fry blurt it out thoughtlessly?
I don't remember that one.
I don't know. I don't even
Which
remember the
episode were you
content.
watching,
This
Pete?
same one. This same one. And then there was
Were you watching Gem?
Yeah, I think that's from Gem.
our crack team of loyal dregs.
That's from. That's. Was this the first time Scruffy was in it?
No,
No.
I was gonna say. So the professor obviously forgets everything.
I'm
He
Scruffy.
didn't even know Scruffy existed. I was gonna say like this is season 4.
I'm on
like
break.
There's at least
I'm
like
on
every
break.
5 episodes, he like questions someone who,
Well,
like,
there's
who
the one
someone
where
is like
what's
every
the line
time.
where
On
he's
the
like he's like which
Some
one of you
people
is the
call me-
robot or something like that? Like
There's something where he's like,
People call me Orange Joe.
I don't know you either.
no, but when the professor's like he's like he says something like which one of you is the robot? He's like me, Bender, the lovable scamp or what?
Oh yeah,
And
I
he-
kind of remember that.
And the professor just like or so, I don't know. It's
I mean, overall, I gotta say, Sweet Guinea Pig of Winnipeg. This
that was before, or that was right after when but Awesome Express was beating Planet Express.
yeah.
they had 1 million subscribers.
and that they asked Fry, Leela, and Bender to like increase by like 800%, and then they ended up defecting to.
yeah.
oh yeah.
yeah,
They had their uniforms and
I'd work for a place called Awesome Express.
I would. I
You
like
should start
when after they got him on board when they're like painting the Planet Express ship into the Awesome Express ship.
Putting
and-
flame decals on it.
yeah. That's Keybert flies up and he's like, "Help me put this flame decal on the side of the ship. It'll help it go faster."
Oh, yeah.
And Leela's like, "What type of scientific reasoning would bring you to that conclusion?" And he's like, "I'm 12."
12.
Oh.
That was a weird. I mean, it was good. It was a good joke, but it was after Hubert's first episode where the whole time he spent the whole episode making fun of everyone for being stupid and it was actually about imagination, right? Or something. It was about not. It was like against creativity and imagination, but pro science. And then he learns at the end that whatever. But like him,
It's you know
it was
what is-
uncharacteristic for him.
Yeah.
Also,
from what we know.
What he
about him so
said
far.
was that he's 12 or whatever.
yeah.
There's the episode down the road where he asks about a birthday, why he doesn't have a birthday. So how does he know he's 12?
And yeah,
They could have just written that down when they put him in school.
But he's also like, another thing I was thinking about this, I was like, yeah, they take it out of like the logic from the episode all the time, but it's like,
I hate that.
But it's I love it because it's just like, we don't care. We're putting it in
It's because it's a fucking cartoon.
It's funny. I want consistency. God.
But I was thinking about it, and I was like, maybe it is consistent because he's a clone of the professor who's super smart and also regularly forgets things and appears stupid. Although that could be
like that.
But
he's a clone, though. But
did he used to be like that when they showed him in younger stuff? Like, I think he's just senile now.
No, because there's
senility.
some of like the younger professor stuff where it's like him and mom. He's still kind of professor-y, like he's like a genius, but he's a little dopey here and there.
Yeah, he's a little
and
goofy.
maybe he inherited some of that from him genetically.
Yeah.
And can I tell you this, guys?
No.
Having your father actually being dead doesn't make taxes any easier. So why would faking your death make the
Did
be
you
a tax
guys do
evasion?
your dad's taxes?
No, I filed for an extension.
Oh, I did mine. It was $200 to do. I had to pay $200.
Oh, I'm going to pay somebody to do it. I just am going to wait till October when I have to do it.
I'm just saying, why did I just pay the government $200 to do taxes for someone that doesn't exist anymore? You know what I mean?
Because the only thing that's certain in life are death and taxes,
No, but
buddy.
I mean, no,
You have to give to Caesar what is Caesar's.
Look, if I had no
The
friends
monkey
or family,
from Planet of the Apes.
like no ties to the world and died, and then just like nobody's gonna do my taxes. Like, how is that part of a thing that has
No, I have one job: delete your browser history.
his password is 1077. So Bender has his ale. He gives birth to an ale that they call Bender Brow.
Mm-hmm.
Why would it hurt him to squeeze it out?
Because it's like birth and it's funny.
It's like a yeast infection.
Because it's that. It's that.
Ooh.
Everybody got grossed out by that.
It's science. It's the
I mean,
body.
like the human body is wonderful and everything. It's just like
Stop it! It's
you think
science.
it's like that's the agent of fermentation, and it's. But
it was that ongoing pregnancy joke because when he was saying if it was an ale it would be Bender Brow, if it was a
Lager,
it
would be. Oh shit!
Yeah, what was the other name?
I can't remember.
He's
but
too
then,
busy writing down Bender Brow.
And then Fender. Then Fry was like, "Oh, I hope it's a lager so I could take it to a game or ale,
a
like
ball
you said.
game, didn't he?
Yeah, to a
but
ball
why?
game.
Why is
one of
that?
them would be a boy's name and one of them was a girl's name, and the ale was a boy or a girl, and one of them was gender. They were both gender specific,
it was
but for no reason.
specific, yeah.
Oh,
and
okay.
Bender Brow, actually the crew of Futurama actually brewed beer and they called it Bender Brow before this episode aired. Yeah,
Oh, nice.
I saw on the
Some good
commentary.
You mean the
What the-
writers and the?
It just says like crew, like it.
Oh,
I
really?
don't know who.
So it
was
could have been.
doing it.
Yeah, it might have been like the.
Like the crew on the cartoon characters.
real life crew of Futurama.
That's what I didn't understand because if it was
The
the
crew
of-
and the crew.
if it was the cartoon people,
They
then-
brewed it like I imagine them doing it in the studio, like
Yeah,
and then
like
getting
right there.
having it finished and then drinking all day
I mean,
and not
we
getting
should
the episode done in time.
about just brewing your own beer. Call it Bender Brow. Be awesome.
Okay, so it's Dan the writer was a paper boy. This episode is a tribute to his father who helped him back then. Additionally, he used to brew beer at home, and the Futurama crew brew beer in the offices. The label of Bender Brow was designed for the office's beer.
Did any of you ever do a paper out when you were a kid?
Nope.
No.
I never did one myself, but I would sub frequently for friends of mine who did.
My brother, the doctor, did.
I don't know how I'm not dead. It would be pitch black.
Yeah.
6 o'clock in the
that was back
morning
then, it was okay.
by myself.
Kids were made of
walking around in a neighborhood I
adamantium
didn't
back
know,
then.
just like dropping off papers because that's what people were expecting.
Well, that's why it's 6 a.m.
Wait, can you even get a paper out as a kid now?
That's the thing. When was the last time you saw a little kid out at 6 in the morning or 5 in the morning delivering paper?
I don't
I
know
was
the last
since
time I saw
9/11.
newspaper.
I was talking
Yeah, that
about
too.
it
I mean-
before the show started. My neighbor's kids a couple times.
Yeah.
And they have like armed bodyguards walk them down the street.
Well, like
And
sometimes
you have to place the paper gently on the porch.
Whenever I think of Paper Boys, I think of the Nintendo game, and I think of Chris Elliott as the Paper Boy
on Get a Life.
Get a Life, yeah.
Yeah. Which is basically what paper deliverers are now, are like Chris Elliott's.
Yeah.
And I don't mean to demean the profession. Like, I get it.
Everybody needs a job. A lot of people, that's their second job, you know.
But, like, it's... if you showed up at the Plain Dealer and you're like telling me, like, say, I'd like a job, see? Let me deliver papers in this neighborhood. I live there. Like, they'd just be like,
listen to this.
Sir, we have
X-ray.
people working here as is. We don't need you.
we don't need you. And Newsies haven't been a thing since 1987.
Sir, we make dog food now.
You can come back here and do other illegal
we make
child
what you
labor.
line the underneath your calendar box.
Yeah.
God, I wonder. And I never had to collect the money, so I'm not even sure.
Pete, you were
how that
supposed to.
worked.
You were supposed to pay for that paper. You just didn't hand it off.
No,
to
because
them.
I was filling in for somebody. Like somebody would go on vacation. Can you handle my paper out for a week? And
Yeah,
then
somebody asked me that once, and I did not.
they'd give me
was
money
You have
I
to
have
get
to
up
get
at
up
one time.
one time
and walk around by myself in the
and then
dark
go to school.
and watch out for skunks and whatnot.
When I was a kid, when you were like, under the allowed to work age or whatever, the legal age to work, everybody was altar boys, and they would get paid for weddings and funerals. Did you do that? Were you an altar boy?
No, but you got paid for weddings and
but I
funerals.
remember like I was always jealous of that, and I'm like, well, I already have to go to church at school on Sunday with my family. I don't want to go to church also another 4 times a week or whatever, and
I did that. I was an altar boy for a few years. A lot of times I forgot that I was supposed to be there. Because the thing was, like, I went to a Catholic grade school that was attached to a church. So if you were, you'd get assigned to the weekday masses, you could get out of school and go do that.
Yeah.
So one time I was serving one of those masses. And we're suiting up, me and the priest. This priest was kind of a dick.
You're suiting up, like, changing in the same room? Or?
Well, you didn't.
That's what I pictured, and I pictured like
disrobe.
some soft.
You actually
focus lens.
You
and, like,
throw the
more
things on
clothes
top.
on.
Yeah, you were layering. And he was sitting there, and he's like, "So, how do you like being an altar boy?" I'm like, "Well, it's okay. I mean, you get out of school sometimes. Like, you should be happy you're serving the Lord. You're serving the Lord." And I was like, "Oh my!" Like I'm 8.
Oh my
or
God.
whatever. However old I was not old
That's
enough
way
to
too young to have
understand.
sex.
Beautiful.
Tell that to the priesthood of the world.
Pete sat on a donut pillow for the rest of his grade school.
Let's just say I didn't
Which
serve
is
with
fried
him
water.
very often after that. Like it was so awkward. It was just weird. Like, it's like trying to ask somebody to comprehend something that they're just not ready to grasp.
Yeah.
Basically, I think people did it. Like they were just altar boys in the first place out of peer pressure.
Yeah.
Like that, because if you're in that environment, you're just like, oh yeah, well, now you go do this, and now you go do that, and and that's what everybody does.
Exactly.
And
it's
like
following the code, following the way to do things. I was a Jehovah's Witness growing up, so I had to go to church 4 times a week. It's forced.
I hope you've had birthday parties since then.
I have.
Okay,
good. I'm no longer with the truth, as they called it. But
Is your family is that a source of friction, or was there a?
No, I'm lucky. I'm lucky in that sense.
That's good.
My dad still practices. My mom doesn't. But my dad still he has talks with me from time to time. But this last time, we sort of talked about it, and we're able to have good adult conversation.
That's good.
about
As long
it.
as you can
Good.
respect each other.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with any religion as long as you can
I get it,
respect
Dad.
every other
You're
people's
crazy,
beliefs.
and you believe some cuckoo bananas things, and I'm not going to do that. Nah, no.
It's not for me. Sorry. I believe in science.
That's what we have to have that talk with my daughter a lot, because it's not even like my wife's into religion, but it's no. But she's curious. She's got questions.
Yeah, and you want to, she's gonna grow up with a bunch of different kids with different backgrounds or whatever, and it's good to
we just spent the whole last week with my family after my stepfather died, and all of my cousins are not cousins; they're my nieces and nephews, and all my cousins, I guess, for that matter. The whole family was around. Like, all of them, Catholic school exclusively. Most of them that have, like, aged Catholic colleges. Like, it's all, that's their thing.
They continue to do that, too?
And my daughter, this is great, like, carrying on in my footsteps. She's like, I want to have a first communion so I can have a party. which is the same thing as being like, it's okay, I get out of school.
Yeah. I mean,
you know?
Did she have her first confession?
No, she didn't have any of it.
Then
I'm not
she can't have a first communion.
I'm not
I'm
indoctrinating
sorry.
her, Tom. That's the key.
Was she baptized?
No.
Okay. She's going to limbo.
I'll be right back. I
Limbo
have to
doesn't
go
exist anymore.
Do something. You just gotta save your daughter's soul. Just take a second.
Do you have any anointed oils?
Which,
lying
by the
around?
way, you can do that in an emergency. If you declare it an emergency,
Yeah,
you can. Any lay person can baptize in the Catholic religion.
I mean, it's fine. It's just like if she becomes an adult and she's like, I want to learn about this and that's what I'm into, that's fine. I just personally feel like I have so much residual damage, and it's not even like horrible damage. Yeah. It's just it took a long time to sort of reckon with that and come to it and be like, this isn't for me.
Yeah.
I mean, I can at least speak for myself and you too.
I think everybody here has been damaged by religion.
They
were raised by it. Like there's so many things. Like you know what's funny is I just recently realized this. The way that I don't you know how it's pretty common for non-practicing and even like non-believing Jewish people to sort of identify with their religion as as a culture,
Yes.
And I mean you can do that with a lot of things. I've realized I identify with like Catholic culture, which is weird. Like I don't, but there's something about like
to bang a lot.
I like to feel guilty about stuff.
Fish fries.
Fish fries. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what else goes along with that, but just like I don't know, being an asshole,
gambling,
gambling for sure. And then confessing about it. Unless you win, then
and letting your family make you feel guilty about everything.
Yeah. But
you like to speak in Latin.
Sometimes.
If Dwight and Kubert had some religion, maybe they wouldn't have.
Did it surprise?
Oh yeah, this show's about Futurama.
Did it surprise anyone that they were running a scam? Like it does
not surprise me at all.
Because you've seen it a bunch of times, but like the professor voice machine, like I saw that coming a million miles away. Like there's no way this could possibly result. Like as soon as they become wildly
I didn't think about that. Like, I've seen this episode a million times and I forgot.
They're clearly all talk.
Oh, what did they say to the crew when they were doing the professor's voice? It was I didn't write it down. It was
I don't remember. It was about dog do 9.
Yeah, going to dog.
No, but what did they say? And I smell bad or something like that, or
that was what Dwight said. Yeah,
and they're both laughing at the same time.
Which was only a single laugh. And how would that work if it was like two people talking into? It would probably be just as weird.
Chorus
delay.
Effect.
Yeah.
The fact
what do you
that the professor and Hermes are so happy that they failed is like. It's wonderful.
I loved how they were like, oh, what happened? And they told him how they failed, and he instantly like called him a name or something. Like I forget what he said.
So good, so good, because that's really all they wanted. They just wanted to eclipse their son's achievements. But then which is really all you want as a parent.
And then they were still good dads at the end too, because
in a few different ways they did some good dad stuff at the end.
Like when he was like, oh, let's go have a nice father-son weaseling out of this.
Well, I forgot one of Hermes' quotes in that was "Sweet guinea pig of Winnipeg."
I said it earlier when nobody was listening.
Oh.
It'll be an Easter egg. The net capture where they captured all the papers, that was one of those scenes where it's like visually more
good
arresting.
Thing I got
than
this
the rest
for capturing giraffes.
This giraffe net.
But then they have the paper gun.
The gun,
which was awesome. and the little prince just eats shit.
I would have been a paper boy if we could have delivered
shot it with a gun.
And that was another father-son moment because I think Dwight was like, Can I use the gun? And he's like, oh, what kind of father would I be if I said no?
If you're a small child with a paper out, first of all, you shouldn't be listening to the show. Turn it off.
Use guns. An hour.
How did you work this contraption to get this?
Why are you still a small child with a paper route in 2017?
That too. Yeah. Like, what's wrong with
are
society?
Are you listening through a wormhole?
But what I was gonna say, get a t-shirt cannon and use that. Mount it to your bicycle and shoot.
Do you think a t-shirt gun could be repurposed to shoot newspapers?
Yeah, I think you'd have to load each one. No, because the t-shirts, do they go in the back or the top or whatever?
I don't know. I don't know if they have a hopper or if it's a front load like
they
a
load
musket.
like a musket.
I have one of those.
Yeah, I don't
rocket launchers for dogs that you put the tennis balls in.
And everyone else dogs? Sean. I mean, Tom, but that was weird.
I pictured it like for dogs. Like dogs can use this rocket launcher.
I would like to see all of those things. Like the shittiest one is the real one that Tom was describing.
Right.
If you could just shoot dogs
What did
at
you
people.
think it was?
I pictured you shooting dogs out.
Like little chihuahuas.
Little wiener dogs. They would
Or
put
shooting
in there.
dogs with it.
Okay. So Devin, you thought it was for dogs to use. I thought it was for shooting dogs. What was this? I
You
missed
just put tennis balls in and shoot it
for
for dogs.
the dogs to chase.
But my dog is terrified of the noise when it shoots off, and he
Wait,
runs
you
and
got one?
hide. No, Eric gave it to me.
Yeah,
because,
his dad's dog. Remember, he got that dog.
No. Eric gave me the gun because Quincy was terrified of it. So I got it, and I went one time, and Cody ran back up on the stairs and was just like, nope.
So do you think the executives are sitting around, they've sold one of these, and it just keeps getting passed to people? It just terrifies dogs, and they're like, I guess we didn't look into this enough to.
It's probably thriving in the third
That
world.
was the thing that we used to shoot the can off your head.
Oh, that's what that was?
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
okay.
what I own it now.
Okay, take a look at it and let's see if we can repurpose it to shoot. Like, what if you could shoot a burrito at someone into their mouth?
Why would
That is
you?
not safe.
That would be amazing. A burrito gun?
Why would I share my burritos with anyone when I could shoot it into my own mouth?
Because you'd make all the friends in the world if you shot
Kurt
burritos.
Cobain it into your own mouth.
Or a little tiny gun that you could shoot cocaine up your nose.
I think they
Little
probably make
six-shooter.
this. Have you seen
Click,
the,
click, click. Oh. Russian roulette. with a
apparently
tiny Coke gun.
snorting pure chocolate cocoa powder is a thing now, and they have a little like catapult for shooting it up
kids
your
these
nose.
days.
Yeah, it's some New York hipster bullshit.
Oh my
thing.
God. I want
The
it.
people ran out of drugs,
I hate
and now
that
they're
it
just doing
exists,
like
but I want it.
Toll House and Hershey's. Like, oh fuck, this is too dirty. It's cut.
First it was gluten free, now it's shooting cocoa powder up your nose.
I know, it's the worst. Now, no need to give us the business. I liked that line a lot because it's just the professor not getting it. Like they're getting threatened by Mr. Blob, Brett Blob's father.
HG Blob.
HG blob.
Yeah.
Yeah, huge gelatinous blob.
Yeah.
That
That's
was the
Is
guy
it the
from
same one?
yeah, it's the same guy. Yeah.
No kidding.
But that before that, when they were going up there, Dwight was like, and then we offered to pay for the window, and he's like, no, we'll apologize with nice, cheap words.
And then when he's yelling at him, he's like, no one gives my son that option or whatever. When he's like,
something about his ass or not having one or whatever. What was it? He can
Yeah.
either.
I don't even remember.
He can either. Throw
the
he can take
paper
his
up your
apology and
Shove him up your ass or something. I
yeah,
don't even know.
he can
Shove it up his non-existent
and
ass.
shove it up my ass, which I don't have, or something like that. But I
Yeah.
forget what the option
Oh,
was,
yeah,
and
and he's
then
like, no one
gives my son that option.
Also, what is the inherently bad thing about being inside the blobs?
I think
Like,
it
when eats
slowly digests.
I think it's
you.
got to be slow
like,
enough
burns?
that like most people escape. It's got to burn like
because they all
maybe real
survive.
slowly.
It
Yeah,
can't
everyone
be
that you've
pleasant.
seen, like
Yeah.
I mean, just if you were encased in
It's just
upside
gross.
down in slime, and who knows
Yeah,
what else
you
is
can't
in there.
breathe.
Probably doesn't smell great.
Yeah.
what does he call one of them? He says you're like one track digestive system or something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah.
I just
something like that. That's the theme of this podcast.
Yeah.
Well, it's a line that was kind of like
when
that.
he comes back in and apologizes, he's just like, and they're bringing in computers to bring
At
up
the plant.
productivity. Yeah.
I like that
just
line
like
worked in the year 3001 too. Like,
Because it's like a 70s almost type.
yeah, I mean he had, or even
80s
earlier
type.
than that, and he had his
Look, I'm still the guy that goes in to bring in the computers and productivity in the year 2017. So it's still a thing. Just because they have the computers doesn't mean they're using them well. So I wind up in Taco Bellevue Hospital, so I take it that's a recurring thing.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. But I like the sign that said urine samples and collectible NASCAR cups. It's a nice way to finish it up.
Isn't there also the Taco Bell dog is a doctor there?
Oh yeah, that's right.
But he wasn't in this episode.
No,
wasn't in this
but-
one, but yeah, he is.
How big is the tumor? How big is the tumor?
Mucho
Somebody
Grande.
Is it Mucho Grande?
I don't know.
I think it was just Grande.
I think it's just Grande.
Grande.
Oh wow.
Which that's a touchy subject.
We took a lot of twisty turns on this. Thanks.
Yeah.
You were game for a lot of weird discussion today.
We basically go off the rails every episode of Second Shot.
Yeah.
No one really wants to listen to a podcast of the Chris Farley Show of Futurama, which we end up doing towards the end now.
What if Tom and I came on Second Shot and we talked about whether or not people should hate Horchie?
Should hate.
Give him another shot. Yeah.
Give Horchie a second
Wait,
shot.
another hot.
You guys can't
defend
all agree on the same thing.
I'll defend you, Rick.
Oh, all
I'll
right,
defend
thanks.
you.
I
got you, dog.
You can be the antagonist.
Yes.
No, look,
I'm going to defend you, but then I'm also going to see other people's point of view about it and be like, yeah.
By the end of it, like,
Turn
that
you around.
makes
I
sense.
tried.
So on that note, aside from thanking you for being on the show today,
Thank you.
don't do it. No, don't do it.
What? No, well, I was just going to say you had talked about a comic book. We've talked liberally about Second Shot, but why don't you give a full synopsis and that sort of thing?
Yes. Thank you for having me on the show, I will say. Real quick. It was a great time. I would like to be a 3-time guest one day and get a jacket.
5 times.
No, that's
You have to
underwear.
be
5 times.
Sorry. And get the underwear.
My pair of
the
underwear at
stains.
3 times.
I need the stains.
You can have it, but you have to steal it from Bill.
Just the one pair gets passed around.
We'll turn that into a video podcast. Me trying to steal underwear. No, but Slurmcast is a podcast you guys already know about. I meant to say Second Shot. Second Shot, I've had so much fun doing it, even though it's like most of the time it's something I hate watching. It's still fun.
Yeah, I feel so bad for you guys for some of the stuff that you guys have had to watch and listen to. However, I was like kind of not mad, but when you guys did the what was the Nicole Richie
Simple Life?
Yeah.
Simple Life one, like listening to that was like killing me, but at the same time I was like I kind of watched it too.
The show's
and
so
like
funny.
I'll
defend that show to the end.
But I thought it was going to be you guys
do-
against your guest, and then I was like,
I do remember at least the first season being entertaining.
it
'cause
was entertaining. That was
nothing
listen
was
to,
ever.
Hey, Tom
that.
and audience out there, listen to the episode. It was that's pretty much what kept coming up. It was very entertaining.
yeah. And I was a 14-year-old boy when I watched it.
Yeah.
That
And
would certainly
boobs.
play into it.
Yeah.
Boobs, yep. But no, it's an awesome show. George came to me, wanted me to be the co-host, and
Former guest George Dunn.
George Dunn, yes. He had this idea because he tended to defend. He tends to be a fan of some terrible movies, aka the Fast and Furious franchise. So basically, his idea was have people come on, defend something they like, because we all have stuff we like that is hated, and we get
Not
some
me
grief
though.
for
Oh
liking
wait,
it.
there's that band that I like that everyone hates, The Doors.
The Doors, which was
You
one
can
of my
check that
favorite
episode out
episodes.
if you get a chance.
One of my favorite episodes.
I think I'm gonna need to come on that show. I'll start
Please
thinking.
do.
Do you?
Pete likes a lot of stuff that I hate.
Yeah, I like a lot of things that everybody hates, starting with myself. Is there?
That tracks.
Do you usually bring on guests where they say, I have this, or do you present topics to guests and say, how do you feel about this? Or does it go any which way?
It depends. We all plan it beforehand, so we know there's going to be a difference in opinion. Most of the time, to schedule, we prefer our guests come with something that they like, and you'll present us a couple topics. We'll see if one of us hates it, and then we'll probably book that. But sometimes there will be people that will come to us and be like, I'm super passionate, or I hate this. Or we want to do an episode where George or I wants to defend something. Like he's done his Fast and the Furious episodes, which are some of the best. And eventually I'm going to do a Kanye episode.
Oh, dear.
So,
So
it's
music,
been fun.
when
the man, or both?
It's going to be, fully encompassing on that one.
For Fast and the Furious, you guys didn't watch all the movies. Did George pick?
No, he picked Fast and the Furious 3 Tokyo Drift for that one.
That's the one he picked?
Yeah. We've also done activities, though. Like, we did an episode
Not
with
running?
Brian Harrod. Yeah, we
Not
didn't
running?
run.
They were going to run and then it rained.
We did yoga. There's also a video of us doing yoga.
I didn't listen to the yoga
on
one.
YouTube.
I got it.
Then, we're going to do a
How about
Skyline Chili episode.
Sitting on the couch, eating junk food, watching just a random movie on
No one will
Netflix.
defend that. Everyone will be there
Everyone
to defend
will
it.
defend that.
Well, so how do people find this show?
You can find us on iTunes, SoundCloud, although I don't know if that might be switching. But look us up on iTunes, Google Play. We have Instagram, Twitter at Second Shot Pod. We're also on YouTube.
You have your bases covered?
Yeah, there's a lot of ways to look us up. We're on Facebook as well.
For iTunes and stuff, you
Who's
just
your
look up
host?
Second
Podcast?
Shot.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Who's your podcast hosting site for your thing?
We host on SoundCloud at the moment.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Do you have a phone number where the undead spirits of past and future guests might be able to call? And
We should have a phone number. We should make... you guys have a phone number, don't you?
we
You were
do.
telling me?
216-438-1077.
We need to get one of those. We have an email at secondshotpod@gmail.com.
You can set up a Google Voice with that. And
Oh,
you can,
really?
You can pick a word or some numbers, and then it'll give you
An actual number.
like numbers, and
Dick pic is already taken.
Oh.
you can also put in an area code,
What about
but you can use
cockshot?
another. I mean,
It's
it's kind of cool. Like you
That's
can
awesome.
kind of make your own phone number.
we definitely need to get that. That would be fun.
And then is your comic book pluggable at this point, or is that still in gestation mode?
That's still in the works. I can tell you it's going to be called Spectrum, but spelled in a weird way. SPCTRVM, I think is what I said. Hold on. It's hard for me to even get.
Yeah, that's
Q.
that sounds
Q.
like
Q.
one of those bands who omits vowels on purpose and stuff.
Or has two V's to spell waves. God damn.
Well, it's gonna be, I wanted to be called Spectrum because it's the only word that fits, and now that
And that's
there's
not what
a-
Time Warner
there's a
Cable is
super-
called.
Yeah, there's a super popular cable
yeah.
company.
Yeah.
I don't know if popular is the right word.
Yeah, people kind of hate it.
It's kind of forced popularity because
Yeah.
you don't.
Yeah.
Because
Most
that's
people don't have a choice.
that's just
Right,
called a
because I live in
monopoly.
Cleveland.
Anything else to?
Former guest.
Do you want
my
to
brother
take? Do you
is
want to take
calling
that
over.
on the air?
call.
Yes.
Oh,
Okay.
Nice.
Special call-in guest from our former guest Sean Horchey.
Hello.
Hey.
Hey, we're recording the podcast right now, and you're on it.
Hi.
All right. Tell them I said hi.
No,
Hi.
they can hear you.
I can hear you.
Yeah, you're on mic, Sean.
Say hi to
Horchey.
my
The
face.
Cavs just went ahead, just so you know, in case you're.
Oh, I haven't checked in the last like 20 minutes. Well, I haven't checked it since right after halftime, like the
Alright.
beginning of third
Well,
quarter.
Yeah, no spoilers.
By 1 point. 1 point.
Well, thanks. I appreciate the update. I'll call you when I get home.
My stepdad died, so we're a complete set.
Oh yeah,
now.
Pete's stepdad died. Everybody's dads are dead now.
Mine's just dead to me. No, just kidding. I still love him. I still love him.
Change the name of the show or something.
It'll be a spin-off.
Dadcast. I don't know. Slurm. All right. I'll talk to you later. All right, bye.
All right, later on.
All
That
right.
was my brother calling from San Francisco.
Oh.
Oh dear, wow. We went a lot of places today. So thank you again for being on, Devin.
Thank you for having me. It was fun.
We can be found at slurmcast.com. That's where all of our episodes are. We are on Facebook, We're on Twitter and Instagram at slurmcastpod. We can be emailed at slurmcastpod@gmail.com. Call at the aforementioned 216-438-1077 phone number. We can also accept texts on that number. Nobody's ever tried to text us a picture. I'd like that to happen.
Nope.
Yeah.
Can we get a picture texted to that number?
Sending you a dick
of
pic
something?
right now.
That's why I said nope.
That's okay. We can put those up as the artwork for the
I want
episodes.
a private dick pic though of like a detective.
Perfect.
Also, t-shirts. Pretty
Oh, that's
soon
right.
we're gonna have probably by the time this comes out, we will be able to go check out all kinds of awesome custom-made like Futurama t-shirts that you can go buy
Do you already
for
know like
pretty
the link
cheap.
for like stuff?
We will
like
have
that, or-
we'll have a
We'll
link
post
in the
it.
show.
Okay.
Yeah. But if any artists are out there and interested in designing a t-shirt for either Slurmcast or just Futurama in general,
Or just
email
something
us.
cool, we can still add it into
Yes.
our t-shirt shop.
Anything nerd related to something with our podcast or the whole, I don't know, what is this? Just the genre of
Pro-Trump
anything.
t-shirts. That's all we're looking for is.
Email us. We can get in touch. You can make some money.
Oh, and then please rate and review us on iTunes.
Yes.
And we will talk into your ears again very soon, right?
Very soon.
Yeah. Have a good week, everybody.
Don't forget to neuter and spay your pets.
I already stopped the recording.